Hey, it's Jesse with Rich Agent Coaching. Listen, thank you so very much for tuning in and checking us out. Now, today I'm going to be going over one of 23 great ways to find amazing real estate deals. Look, these are very informative, educational types of videos. They're made in my very small, cluttered office on my laptop, for Pete's sake. No fancy equipment, no video production crews. There's no green screen behind me. Heck, there's no light boxes around, just that overhead light right there, and whatever God decided to provide through the windows here in my office. The reason for that is actually really simple. You see, there's just no need to put on airs. There's no reason to bring all that in. Look, this is my gift to you. And my goal is to pack a ton of value into the next 3 to 10 minutes. I'm looking to make each one of these 23 ways its own separate little short video. And well, as long as you're okay with me sharing usable, useful, and valuable content, hey, please keep watching. I really do appreciate you tuning in and checking these things out. My goal is to make them as short as possible, but pack in as much really useful information in there as I possibly can so that you can get as much out of it as possible. And listen, for any and all of these, if you have any questions, would like any clarifications, please drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. And check out my web address, www.richagentcoaching.com. We don't do the traditional coaching that a lot of people are familiar with. You pay a fairly exorbitant fee and get a little less than what you would hope to get as a result. My goal is to give you far more value than any price ever asked of you. In this case, it's free, but don't discount that. This is one of the few times that free really does have a value. So in any case, on to this next topic, and that is bank-owned properties. You'll hear them referred to as REOs, real estate owned. You'll refer to them or hear them referred to as non-performing assets, which that would be true. They took a performing asset, a loan, and unfortunately had to foreclose, and now it's a non-performing asset. It's not a loan, it's the dang house or the office building or the shopping center or the apartment community or the fill in the blank. So these can be great ways for listings, for sales, and for investments. All three, the trifecta, okay? Because here's the thing, you've got two main types of banks that are foreclosing on properties. You've got the smaller community banks, and then you've got the really large, bigger banks. Now, the bigger banks, I'm not going to talk too much about them. You're probably not going to be going to work directly for the bigger banks. You may, because they take the property back, it's maybe an FHA or HUD property. It may be a Fannie Mae or a Freddie Mac loan. In that case, that house is now going to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. So you could reach out to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and get on their list and be an approved listing agent. You could do the same thing with HUD and become an approved listing agent through one of their contractors. Okay, and that can be a great way for listings. I've got some dear friends that do a ton of listings. As a matter of fact, that's just about their entire business is based on doing just that. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD listings. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can earn a great income. Now, let's go back to the community banks, because community banks, they will not have the same ability to turn those loans over because, see, they're just not that large. So they don't have enough staff, they don't have the systems, they don't have the policies, procedures, they just don't have the ability to really handle the volume, if you will, if it's a Fannie Mae or a Freddie Mac. They also don't have the servicing departments set up to be able to handle those, or the FHA loans. The banks have to have certain requirements met to be able to service those loans. And most of them only service the loans that they make. That, by the way, is in the industry referred to as a portfolio loan, meaning the bank keeps that loan in their portfolio. They keep it in-house. So if you borrow from whatever your community bank's name may be, the street from my office called Sona Bank. So if you borrow money from Sona Bank, you're pretty much always going to pay Sona Bank. They won't sell that loan. However, if something happens and they have to foreclose on that loan, well, they get the property back and they keep the property. Now they need to sell it. So what do they do with it? Well, a couple of things is what I have run into over the years. One, if they have it, they're going to keep a list. So the first thing I would suggest is reach out to the community banks. Just make a list of them. Do a Google search if you want. Make a list. Call them. Explain to them what you're looking for, the person in charge of real estate owned or the person in charge of non-performing assets, and ask, do you have any? And is there a list? They would love to send it to you. Email, fax, regular mail. Hey, they may even have it on their website. Check there first. A lot of banks, at one point, they did. So check with the bank. It would be a great resource for terrific investment properties for you. Sometimes the bank is very willing to finance that asset for you as well. The second thing is you can find out who that person is and ask how to be on their list of approved brokers. So now you can list the property for sale when they get one coming in. Now, community banks, you're not going to have a lot because, like the bigger banks, they really do their best to try and work something out with that borrower in advance. They don't want the property back. If they take the property back, they're going to lose money on it. There's no way around it. They're losing money on that deal, and they don't want the foreclosure. They don't want the property in their inventory. They just want the regular, consistent monthly payments that are supposed to come in as per the agreement. Didn't happen, so now they got to sell the property. But you can also, if they do have it listed with someone else, you may be bringing a buyer, one of your investor clients in. The great thing is after the foreclosures happened, okay, now you do have the opportunity to go and do those inspections. You can write a contract with contingencies. It's a wonderful thing. Now, like financing, home inspections, things of that nature. The only thing I do want to caution you with, I have seen some banks, and sometimes these are smaller banks that inherited the loan. Maybe they bought a pool of loans, didn't know what they were buying, and they wound up with this non-performing asset, this house. It could be a local bank, same principle, same thing happens. Make sure that they don't give you some really crazy addendums. And when I say that, I have seen some very heavy-handed. It's 100% in favor of them. The things that they're requiring of you and asking of you, they're not looking for you to turn the tables basically back on them. I had seen one, and I was successful in striking it, and I'll give you just one example of one particular item. I had bought a property, still have it to this day, but I bought a property. It was listed for sale with another real estate firm here in the area, and submitted the contract, sent it in, got an addendum back, but the addendum, it made no sense. And I'll give you one example. It told me that, or in there, that I could have an inspection done and I could void the offer if I found something I didn't like. Okay. Then a little further down, it mentioned I could buy the home, but they're under no obligation to repair anything. And if there's a title search done that turns up to be a problem and they're not able to now transfer title, well, I get my deposit back. I said, wait a minute. Seems like to me the fair thing would be is if I'm already having my inspection because you want me to do my inspection within the first 7 days, I'm okay with that. I can get it done in 7 days. But it's going to be 3 weeks before I can close because, it takes you guys a little while. I got to get title straight. I want my I want my money back that I've paid for my inspections. Seemed reasonable to me. Well, the funny thing is, and that was supposedly a lender addendum. Okay, the mortgage, or excuse me, the real estate agent for the bank here in the area said nope, they're not going to agree to that. I said, well, that doesn't make any sense. Can you at least send it to them and ask? Okay. Now the first time it took about 3 days to get a reply. This time I got a reply within about 8 to 10 hours, which told me the real estate agent here in the area really didn't send it. So just by sheer dumb luck, we found a contact point at the seller, the bank. And he said, no, I never saw the addendum. Matter of fact, it wasn't even their addendum. So the moral of the story is I was able to, by getting in touch with the right person, get a fair and even transaction worked out. Read the addendums. I'm telling you, it is amazing the crap that they try and slip by if you let them. In any case, I hope this has been helpful. This one went a little long compared to some of the others. I apologize to you. I hope you have a terrific day, and I hope that you really get some great, useful information out of this series. Have a terrific day, and hey, we'll talk to you soon. Well, thanks so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it, and I really hope you got a lot of great value out of it. Please check out the other videos in this series and subscribe to the Rich Agent Coaching channel here on YouTube for more real estate videos you can use. Thanks, and make it a successful day.